Hey everyone, today we're going to break down the recipe for a truly sound argument. You know, the key ingredients to make your points not just strong, but really persuasive. So let's dive right in.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're in a discussion, you know you've got a fantastic point, you feel it in your bones that you're right. But when you actually try to say it out loud, it just doesn't land. Ugh, it's so frustrating. But here's the thing, it usually isn't about what you're saying, but how you're building the argument. But here's the good news. Persuasion isn't some kind of magic trick. It's all about structure. There's actually a recipe, a formula even, for building an argument that's so solid, it's pretty much impossible to ignore. And to help us visualize this, I want you to think about a really sound argument like a delicious, perfectly made, multi-layered cake. It's not just a single idea. No, it's a bunch of different parts all working together to create something amazing. And just like with a cake, every single one of those layers has to be strong. Because if even one layer is weak or crumbly or totally missing, the whole thing just gets wobbly and, well, it collapses. So, what are these layers we're talking about? Well, there are three of them. You've got the claim, which is the top layer, then you have the evidence, which are the supporting layers, and finally, the reasoning, which is kind of like the binding ingredient holding it all together. Let's start from the top and talk about the claim. Okay, so layer one. This is the part everyone sees first. It's the top of the cake, you know, the part with all the decoration. This is your claim.
So what a claim really is, when you boil it all down, is your main point. It's what you want your audience to believe or to do. It's the destination you're trying to guide them to.
Basically, everything else we're about to talk about, it's all there just to hold up this single point. But think about it. A claim by itself is, well, it's just an opinion, isn't it? It doesn't really have any weight. It needs something to stand on. And that brings us to our second layer, the evidence.
The evidence is the foundation of your cake. These are the premises, the hard facts, the real information that gives your claim some actual credibility. It's what stops people from just shrugging and walking away. And strong evidence can be a lot of different things, you know? It could be facts, hard data, statistics, but it could also be testimony from an expert or just really good, clear examples. The main thing is, your evidence has to be something you can actually check, and it has to relate directly back to your claim. The more specific and objective you can be, the stronger that foundation is going to be.
Okay, so we have our claim sitting on top, and we've got our evidence holding it up from below. But how do we actually connect those two things? And that's where our final, and, you know, maybe the most important part comes in. It's the binding ingredient, your reasoning.
And this quote really nails it. If your reasoning is flawed, your argument falls apart, like a cake with no binding ingredients. I mean, think about that. You could have the most amazing claim and literally the strongest evidence possible, but if you don't have good reasoning to link them, all you have is just a list of facts. The reasoning is what actually turns it into an argument.
So reasoning is that critical moment where you connect the dots for whoever you're talking to. You have to spell it out. You have to show them how your evidence proves your claim and why it proves your claim.
This is so important. Never, ever assume that your audience is going to connect those dots on their own. That's your job. Your reasoning is what answers that silent question that's always in their head. Okay, so what?
And a really powerful way to do this is to tie your reasoning to things you and your audience probably already agree on, like shared principles or common values. So for example, if your claim is we need a new park, your evidence might be data about local health. Your reasoning would be the part that says, and we all agree that green spaces are crucial for a community's well-being, which is why this data supports building the park. See how that grounds the logic and makes the connection so much stronger?
All right, so we've got our three ingredients: claim, evidence, and reasoning. Let's put it all together and see what this actually looks like.
And this is a perfect illustration of the difference. Look at the sound argument. It's a solid, stable structure. You've got the clear claim, the strong evidence, and the logical reasoning connecting them. It's persuasive. But then look at the other side, the unsound argument. It's a total mess. It's collapsed because a layer is missing, or the reasoning is just bad, and the whole thing is just not convincing at all.
So, if you take away one thing, let it be this. A great argument is way more than just a strong opinion. It's a structure. You absolutely need all three parts: a sharp claim, solid evidence to back it up, and clear reasoning to tie them together. If you're missing even one of those pieces, the whole thing just crumbles.
So the next time you find yourself needing to convince someone of something, don't just throw your opinion out there.
I want you to think like a baker. Build your argument layer by layer and ask yourself those key questions. Is my claim crystal clear? Is my evidence solid? And most importantly, does my reasoning create a logical, undeniable bridge between the two?